lovely people, this is the Kitten and the Goat in Kendal. If you haven't come across me yet, the people on my email list get a free pattern every month, and on the last Friday of the month I release a video walkthrough of the pattern and tell you all about it. So knitting has rules, right? You have to have a pair of knitting needles and you have to do certain things in a certain way. So today we're going to do something a bit different. How do you fancy breaking some rules? Come on, I'll show you.
Down a little alley in the heart of Kendal town is a tiny independent yarn shop. Welcome to the wonderful world of the Kitten and the Goat.
Right, you are going to love this. This lace pattern is so easy and so versatile. It's worked on uneven numbers. This is shush. Shush is a brushed double knitting. This will work with any double knitting, but it particularly works nicely with the shush because it's that little bit finer and it's brushed, and the brushed holds onto each other in its stitches. Let's see if we can back up a bit here. There we go. You want an 8 or 9 millimeter needle and a 5 or 6 millimeter needle. Honestly, it does not matter. You can cast on any number of stitches because the technique is done in between each stitch. So it doesn't matter if you've got a skinny little scarf of 60 or a big wide shawl of 120. I think this is just under 100 for no other reason than that's what it is. The big needle creates these gaps and the little needle locks it into place. All this is just knitting from one size needle to the other size needle, and what I'm going to show you is the technique to create this extra lacy look. So, as I say, it's all knit, so it doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter how many rows you have between each pattern. I think I've got 14. You can have 16 or 18. You can make it uneven. Why not? The pattern is always worked using the big needle. Whichever you've chosen for the bigger needle, that's the one you're going to use for this technique. And it seriously is very simple. Let me untangle myself. Right. We're going to Ed! Oi, in, Ed! We're going to knit one. We're going to bring the yarn forward. We're going to knit one, created a stitch. We're going to bring the yarn forward. We're going to knit one. Now it's crucial that you relax because you're working from a small needle to a big needle. If you pull hard, you will ruin your evenness. So relax, bring it forward. Just let the needles dictate the size, bring it forward and knit. And that is what you do all the way along the needle. That is why it doesn't matter how many stitches you've got, because you're bringing this forward between every stitch. It's a bit of a different look when you're working with such open stitches. But this is so pretty. The colours in this shush are just amazing. There's 14 in the range now. Absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to go all along the row like that, growing, bringing forward to gain an extra stitch. So yes, you are doubling the amount of stitches on the needle, but you're not going to be using them. Okay, so I will plod on get to the end of the row and then I'll show you the trick. Right, now believe it or not, you have doubled the amount of stitches on the needle. One is a real proper stitch, the other is just a loop that you've brought forward. What you're going to do is work the proper stitches and drop the loop without doing anything to it. You know where they are because you know the first one starts with a knit. You just have to go slow and concentrate. So you knit, you drop, you knit, you drop, you knit, you drop. Now if you get confused, you can see which is which. The knit has a little anchor. It has a little piece there. Do hang on to it and don't drop your skinny needle because it causes all sorts of nightmares. Your slip stitch is not attached to anything. Just let it go. Just let it drop. Knit, slip. Don't worry about it. You don't have to do anything to it. Just push it off the needle and forget about it. And slip. Once you get a few stitches on, you've got something to hang on to. Slip, knit. Again, the knit stitch has the bump underneath it. It's anchored to something. It is a stitch. The loop is just caught up with nothing to attach it. So you're knitting and you're slipping, you're knitting. Wrong way round, you see, wrong way round, not concentrating, not concentrating, too busy talking to you. That's the dropped one. It won't show because it's so lacy. See, we're all human, we all do it. That's the knit. That's the drop. That's the knit. That's the drop. That's the knit. That's the drop. That's the knit. And it will take care of itself. It will sort itself out. Just trying to get a bit further along so the stitches have got a bit of space to work with and you can see it drop. You see, it takes care of itself. It's locked at the top because we're using a finer needle and it just drops into that gappy ladder stitch. So that's a knit, that's a drop. You have to concentrate just really hard for just this one row, and then you do your block of 12 again, and then you repeat your 2 pattern rows. There you go. There's a little bit of a challenge for you. Makes the most amazing lightweight summer shawls. There, I think I've got a vest top made of this, like this, with cotton. That's a fun one too. Very simple. You just make a front and a back, sew it at the shoulders. Okay, so let's see you out in all your summer shawls. I'll give you a after picture of how it swirls when I finished the end of it. Yeah. This little video is brought to you as part of our virtual knitting circle. If you join our email list, every month you will get a free knitting pattern pop through your email box. And that's it. You don't have to do any further action. You get a free pattern. I also upload on YouTube a little walkthrough of the pattern, various little tweaks, twiddles and things you might need to know to make it easier for you. and a fortnight later you get a technique video, usually builds on what we've just made, or it might be I discuss a design feature or something like that, just to build your knowledge bank and help you. If you want to go on and buy the kit, that's fantastic. It's all on the website. We have a website. If you want to buy yarns and wools from us, we'd be exceedingly grateful. We are a tiny little independent knitting shop doing the best to help you knit. See you soon.